Galacon was more community event. It was held in the hostel, and it has somehow different atmosphere, but it was fine, totally fine. Especially when we were for the first time at the convention. Let's say just for the first time, it's just for the first time. Galacon continued as one of the longest running events on the continent. The only longest running convention is UK PonyCon, which is not just Brony convention, but general MLP Pony convention, but also that is also main collectors event. So now Galacon is the biggest in Europe, the most intense one, and if you want the big fancy style, meet the fancy guests, just go there. Over the years, we experienced a lot of amazing stuff there. Another event, back, ended in 2016. The atmosphere was very similar to Galacon. It was also a big fancy event with a lot of concerts and a lot of program, a lot of guests and everything. The only problem is that it is over. It was pretty intense, and it happened to the organizers that they just burned out. It was just too much for them. It was too intense, so they decided to end it in 2016. Was anyone at the back? Yes. Cool. Did you like it?
Yeah. The concert was awesome.
Yeah, it was big concert hall, and I think we did not have such a concert, such a Brony concert since then ever. But as I said, it was big event, and it was just too much for the organizers. We met their National Geographic filming team. It was pretty awesome. If you find the episode called, I think, Outsiders, there's an episode about Bronies that was filmed at the back 2013. Another event took place in Paris. It was Brony Days. We met M.A. Larson for the first time in Europe.
Oh, this is where it's Equestria. This is the origins of Equestria.
Yeah. You just stole that surprise, so I'm going to tell that. Yeah, we went for a signature from M.A. Larson, and when we showed him our flag, he just said, "Okay, guys, it's this Czech Republic and Slovakia." Yes. So when there will be a convention in Prague? Maybe we are planning something for next year. Okay, I hope you're gonna invite me. All right. We went away, and I just told Melgar, who is now vice chair of Czech Westria, I said, "You idiot! Now we have to make a convention." And that's how Czech Westria was born. That's another nice point, that such a small event can cause such a big difference. I will talk about this also later, but even from attendees' perspective, if you do something like this, you will just, at the right moment, you will push the events the right way, and you let the snowball down the hill, causing such a stuff you never expected. Yeah, also, this was where the BBC interview took place. And also, for me, it was one of the most heartwarming moments, because I just said something to that interview, and then I saw it, it was fun for like 1 year. And like 6 years after that, or 5 years after that, I met another person from the My Little Pony original staff at the, let's say, a little bit strange situation, because I've been changing to my cosplay in the toilet. VIP guests come in and say, "Oh, sorry, no, it's fine, just come out." Then did what was necessary, and then on the leave, he just stopped at the door and looked around me, just half naked, and said, "What you said to BBC like 5 years ago, that was awesome, I totally like it." And left it. Okay. So you never know what the impact of these kind of things will be. It could be pretty nice, heartwarming, and motivating to do what you do. Brony Days ended in 2015 for very similar reasons as Bach. Crystal Fair convention in Helsinki. It was originally planned for 2013, then it was postponed. Many people I know did not go there because they did not have the money and said that I'm gonna go there next year. But next Crystal Fair never happened. So that's kind of a reminder that if you want to go to a convention and you have an opportunity, just go, because you never know if it's gonna happen for the next time. My Little Convent is an example of the community convention in Poland. It had many names. It was My Little Convent, Pony Congress, My Little Convention. They've been changing the names and fusing the events together, so it's a little bit hard to follow the timeline. It was a typical community event rented in the school. Fun fact is that the school was pressed by the church to cancel the event because, heresy. And they actually canceled their rent like 2 days before the event, and they had to search for a new one. Luckily they found it, so it happened. But just an example for as what can happen if you have pressure from outside. Shameless promotion, Czechostria.
Hey!
Yeah, let's say it's also one of the longest running Brony events in Europe too. I think we can be pretty proud of that. If you want, come. It's a smaller event, but it's kind of combination between the community and the fancy stuff. So you can chill out as on the meetup, and you can also meet some guests and stuff. So I hope we mix the best balance between the East and the West.
Shameless propaganda.
Yeah. It will probably happen in 2024 again.
Thanks, Emily Larsen.
Yeah, thanks for the list. Yeah, if Mitch is looking, thanks. 10 years of organizing conventions.
RIP Heartswarming Con.
Yeah, Heartswarming Con. Similar size to Czechostria, in a small venue, then in rented school. It was pretty innovative. You could find interesting things there, like the My Little Pony escape room and things like that. Dutch fun panel, if you remember it, how they let guests eat the raw fishes and let people have fun of that and stuff like that. Yeah, it was the last convention that we attended before the pandemic. I think 2 weeks after the last Heartswarming Con happened, the Europe went into the general lockdowns and borders were closed.
Yeah, it was 1 week.
1 or 2 weeks, depends on the country, but yeah, something like that.
I think worldwide it was the second to last con before that.
Mm.
The only one after that was HarmonyCon.
Yeah, HarmonyCon is in the United States.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I meant worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
In Europe it was HarmonyCon, then a week later there was HarmonyCon, and then everything shut down.
Yeah. Then, like 2 or 3 weeks after that, PonyCon Online started. PonyFest Online, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, you had a hand to play in that.
Yeah. Once organizer, forever organizer, I think. I'm laughing because Zakora had a panel yesterday about organizing events, and he said, "Yeah, I quit the organization team. Now I'm just an attendee." Yeah,
You're never only an attendee, never.
Now Zakora's a musician.
It's not helping.
Yes. Heartswarming Con ended, but most of the aspects were moved to PonyCon Holland that we will talk about later. Yeah, Brony Fair. Ooh, yeah. Convention in Berlin, about 300 attendees. The highlight of the whole event was the Iron Pony competition. It was was the competing in various disciplines that you did for all of the days. And it was very, very, very fun, at least from the attendee side. Also, we had that fun visit from the Sat.1 TV station reporter who came among bronies in the ridiculous pink unicorn costume, and he was searching for the gossip stories from all people around there, but only the controversial stuff made it to the final cut. Like I think you can still find it online.
Yeah.
There is like the interview with Torben and things like that. They tried to interview me. It was also funny because the guy came to me and, "Can we make an interview with you?" "Yes, all right." So, camera will take you from the bottom and down. "Do you have a girlfriend?" "Yeah, she's over there." "Okay, thanks for interview." And my girlfriend was running away because she did not want to be on the TV. So yeah, it was fun, and also one of the things that's kept in my mind. GM Barrow was a guest there, and yeah, standard guest stuff, the panels, signatures, Q&As, and everything. What was really a little bit strange to me that when the convention was over, she was standing next to the entrance to the main hall. And there were dozens of bronies just passing by. Nobody stopped. Everybody wanted to talk to her while she was on the stage and giving the questions and this and that. But when she was standing not on the stage, nobody actually paid any attention to her. That was like, wow, why? Yeah. I don't know. Any theories?
She's human too.
Yeah, she's here. I'm sorry?
Yeah, they didn't want to annoy her probably.
That too.
Yeah, maybe.
Aren't we like told not to bother guests of honor on their spare time?
Well, yes. Just when the guest of honor is standing next to the stream of fans and looking at them, it's probably not looking for, safe place to hide.
So we're supposed to stare back.
Well, it's your choice.
She was only
And it happened also at it kind of also happened at Equestria with the director that we had there. He was always just out and about, and no one was really like.
Yeah, that's right. He was a VIP that did not realize that he's a very VIP, and he even did not make a signing session because he said, "Yeah, if somebody wants a signature, just come to me and ask for it." And just very few people did.
Yeah.
And he was chow-drawing outside with other fans. Wow.
Yeah.
During one of the panels, we were in the second to last row, back in the corner. And halfway through the panel, we realized that he was sitting next to us in the very last row.
Yeah. There's two types of guests. One is very happy to go among the fans and have a fun with the fans. We'll get to that. That's very, very accurate. Let's say. Yeah, Ellie Ray. If you did not met her, she's a Pinkie Pie, like live Pinkie Pie. Also, another example of this was Mitch Larson at the last BronyCon. That meme "Buy my book." Mitch Larson wrote a book, Penny Royal Academy. I can also recommend to read. It's fun. And at the last BronyCon, he was one of the main stars. On the stage in front of thousands of people, and giving the speeches and stuff. And suddenly he was off the stage. And he was sitting in front on the floor in front of the door to BronyCon, and next to him there was the cardboard box with his book, and there was just with the Sharpie written like books $20. Okay. Yeah, and like 50 meters away we found excavator signed by MLRs. That just happens. He signs everything. Okay, let's move on. Pony Rhetoric is a convention in St. Petersburg in Russia. We've been there in 2017. Also with this person who claimed not to know me. Yes, I funny. There are many funny stories around that. We can talk about them later because we don't have much time. I usually say, yeah, we went to Russia, then we escaped from Russian prison, and now we live together. And we organize a convention together.
And he survived the bombing.
Russian conventions are a little bit different than we are used to here. They usually take place at two places. First day is the regular convention as we know it here, and the second day is in the concert hall where music is performed and also the cosplay contest. And by the way, if you want to see the best My Little Pony cosplayers in the world, go to Russia or just watch their. I mean, not now, of course. But all of them were really awesome. Not just because of their costumes, but also because of how they play the characters. It was totally awesome. And I think one of the other things that I can say that it was in Russian language. They promised us translators. Like 4 of them, 2 vanished, 1 we saw for 2 minutes, and the last one we saw just on the panel where they invited me as a guest. And note to organizers, please get to know how your guests look like. Because when the panel was about to start, it was convention organizers panel, it was about to start, and there was just 1 free chair on the stage, and I was sitting in the audience, and all the organizers were running around and searching for somebody. Probably me. And when I just came to them, like, neck, I'm sorry, do not disturb, we are looking for somebody. Yeah, maybe you're looking for me. Oh yeah, it's you. Go on the stage, please. Yeah. But it was totally awesome experience. Let's say we simply had a blast there. I'm not gonna go into the details. Who knows the knows. But since let's say until this event, I did not know that what all experience and connected with the My Little Pony conventions I can have. But this was also like surviving the bomb terrorist attack in the metro.
Yeah, it was bombastic experience.
Yeah, we had a blast. Just 1 hour because we decided to go early, and just behind us some idiots blew up themselves in the St. Petersburg metro. Yeah. So when somebody says, do not go to the Kiev now, even though they have a BronyCon there at the beginning of the July, it's too dangerous. Like, got used to it. It's Russia. Well, it's not. Well, go to Wild East. Another example of the Russian con, this one was held in Moscow, held in the big hotel, and it was pretty similar to the conventions held in the hotel in the West. Just another difference for the Russian conventions, they have 2 vendor halls, or they have 2 halls. One is for vendors who are selling their stuff, and the second is exhibition hall. So you can have your table presenting your projects, and I think that was for free. So there was people like Sweetybot, 10 Pony Tower, a lot of stuff from Fallout Equestria, as you can see on the middle picture. You could take the minigun and make a photo in front of the vault at the Pony Convention. Sure, why not? Ooh, Brony Scott, if you go to the north, smaller convention in Scotland. It was also very long running since 2014. In 2020 it was postponed, and it was announced as ending. There were a few controversies around that, but that's for later to talk about the beer. Yeah, about the beer, sorry. Griffish Isles, small event in Manchester. It's totally contrast with the back that was held in Manchester before. This is a small event. originally held in the modern church, now it's in the hotel. But the size is also the same and the atmosphere goes on. I think it happened this year too at the same time as Everfree Encore.
Yes.
By the way, if you go to the British Isles, try to visit also the Old Buck Place because it's very probable that you will find somebody there. You know, some Brony is trying to remember, yeah, the Buck was here at the Manchester Hall. Another UK PonyCon is UK PonyCon. It's originally a convention for pony collectors, so most of the vendors you found there and most of the merchandise you can find there is G1 stuff. There is also a lot of families with the small kids, so it has a little bit different feeling, although in the recent years it includes also the aspects that are more aimed to bronies, like inviting the VIP guests, having concerts in the evening and such stuff. As I said, originally it was collector's event, now it's for every pony. I've been there a few times and I can only recommend. PonyCon Holland as a successor of the Heartwarming Con, sorry. The scheme is pretty similar as for Heartwarming, just PonyCon Holland is held in the hotel with all the things you can expect from that. What differs it, one of the things that differs it from others, they also try new things that are not common in Europe, in European MLP conventions. Like the last time, they made a theater play with their mascots, and then they let people decide how the theater play should end. It's similar thing as BobsCon in the United States did, which is one of the examples how to get inspired. It was really nice opening of the convention. Also, they had after night vendor hall, which is I think nobody else did in the European event so far, because we had some pretty bad experience with this kind of program at the conventions, but seems like guys from PonyCon Holland are not afraid of that. We'll see, let's hope it lasts. I was not inside, so I cannot tell you what was there.
Kind of an open secret that don't promote it explicitly.
Yeah.
The waiting lane was too long, I wasn't there.
Yeah, it was forbidden to take photos inside, and when I tried to make the photos of the queue, a lot of people got pissed. So I actually deleted the pictures. Yeah.
I had a choice between alcohol and dirty stuff, and I choose alcohol.
Why not? Yeah.
Also, stroopwaffles.
Yeah,
Lots.
Stroopwafel. Yeah.
Lots of stroopwafel.
The alcohol was only in the paper book, but not in the online version.
Yeah, it's hard to dance between these rules and official stuff, so nobody will judge you for that. Especially, you do not want to have a visit from Hasbro lawyers. You definitely don't want to.
Anyways, come to PonyCon Holland.
Yeah, as I said in the beginning, go to every conventions I described you. Of course, those who are still running. Yay, EponaFest. We are here now, so I can skip it. It's a relatively new event, I think the newest one at this point in Europe. So I wish it a long and successful history. So that's pretty it. That covers the My Little Pony events in Europe. As I said, I did not talk about every event. These are only conventions. We have also music festivals like Everfree Encore, LunaFest. There are other conventions and big events like BronyCon in Kiev at the beginning of July. There is Twilight Meet in Gdańsk in Poland, Festival of Friendship in the United Kingdom, and others. So there are still a lot of events running. The only issue is how to find them. We'll get to that too. Alright, let's go short visit outside of the Europe. First, let's mention BronyCon, the biggest event of the ponies that was ever made, I think. In 2019, it was the last one. They decided to end it because there was a steep decline of attendees. In 2019, it was over 10,000, but in 2018, there was about 5,500. So from 2015, where there it was also 10,000, it was all the time decline, and organizers just decided to end this. Everything is big, or was big, huge in all ways, totally long queues, like 8 hours queue for a signature from War and Faust. If you get through the queue to the queue, that was also a few hours. So yeah, something like that. Many VIP guests, and yeah. Yeah, this is how it looked. This is the marketplace and concerts and people, many cosplayers. It's too much material. We could talk about the BronyCon for the whole hour. Maybe one funny story. Originally, BronyCon offered us to have a tables in the marketplace, and the Czechoslovakia table was cancelled because the person who wanted to go was not able to attend, so I cancelled it. And when I came to the marketplace, I was greeted by other co-chairs like Charlie and others, and they say, "Hey, James, are you going to build up your Czechoslovakia table?" We don't have it. "Yes, you do, it's over there." Yeah, that's a good joke. "Hi, James," that was somebody from EponaFest. You're going to build up your table." "No, we don't have a table." Yeah, that's a good fun. And then I was like, "Oh shit, it's here." There's the table with the plain side Czechoslovakia. Oh my, now we have to build it up. Yeah, that's the upper right picture is how we made a table from nothing. Yeah. Another US event is PubsCon. It's held in San Francisco, also the hotel convention. Many show and community guests, a lot of program. What's interesting there and does not happen in the European events are the room parties. Because it's in the hotel, and the room parties works like that people come with their cars, bring a lot of equipment, drinking, eating, decorations and everything, and they just completely rebuilt the room in the hotel, and then they held a party there. Conventions do that instead of, for example, there are tables in the vendor hall. Also, there are just panels for fun. The picture in the lower right corner, that's I think Klingon's den. So you just came there was a bar, people in the Klingon cosplays, episode of Star Trek running, Klingon flags, boxes of Romulan ale, and you could get a whole variety of Star Trek drinks. Yeah. There was also, I think, Canadian convention party, fortune party, where I met some Czech girls. Yeah, that's a topic for... is my girlfriend here? No. That's for another thing. She already knows it. Never mind. Room parties definitely worth to attend if you have a chance. Japan PonyCon, held in Tokyo. Perfect example of totally another culture. How they handle the conventions. It's super highly organized. It was only in Japan, like in the Japanese language. We held there a panel about European events, which was simultaneously translated. Which actually means that you have like not an hour, but about half an hour of time because everything has to be translated. Let's say the level of organization was totally somewhere else, like people going to the vendor hall. Just imagine this vendor hall here, and the organizers come with the duct tape that they tape on the ground, and people are moving just on this line. the tables, and you have like separate ways into each table. And if there are more people in the queue for one table, the last one in the line holds the sign. This is the end of the queue. If you remember those pictures from the Kaufland supermarkets, people flooding in, it's completely opposite, and it looks like, oh shit, these people are organized as hell, even in their private lives. Also, I think me and Kabrolka, who was there as photo finish, we took part in the cosplay contest, and when we've been standing in the queue, we just found out we are the only R63 cosplayers. Well, we are males cosplaying females. Yeah. Also, what was unexpected was that they had a live stream, and you can talk to the live stream. And they asked us, do you also want to say something to people? Yeah, sure. Do you want the masks off your face? No. Why? Oh, such brave, they are going to show off their faces in the cosplays. Yeah, why not? Yeah, we were the only ones. Also, when you are taking pictures, if you look at these pictures, you cannot see any faces. It's totally impolite to make pictures of the people and their faces. If you do it from behind, that's fine. But you should ask everyone if you can and if you are allowed to publish the photos. As I said, different culture. An example of the EponaFest online convention is EponaFest Online. During the pandemic, many events went to their online forum. Galacon had two or three online events. Two. Griffish Owls also went online. And other were, I don't know, waiting. Yeah, UK PonyCon also had online events. So it was just born from the need of the meeting other bronies during the pandemic lockdowns. Yeah, also, and holding online conventions brought quite a lot of new challenges. How you are going to finance, for example, the guests' presence. In this case, we did it in a way that we made individual Zoom calls with the guests. So you paid for a signature, and you have your 5 minutes talk with the guest in the private Zoom call, and then the guest signed his photo and sent it to the person. It quite worked. It was a little bit harder to organize, but it worked. This is current list of events that are planned for this year. So, which one are you planning to visit? Derby Fest. Yeah, Derby Fest is not there. I'm not sure if the date was released when I made this.
I hope it will be possible to go to CrystalCon.
Yeah, CrystalCon is a new event, semi-new event in Sweden. Stockholm, yeah. I'm planning to go there too, and I'm really curious how it's going to look like. Because there was also an attempt of Swedish convention in 2013, I think, but it never happened. Although they made some pieces of merchandise, so you can have 3D printed figure of the con mascot. That never happened. Yeah, happens. Also, if you do not know, many conventions moved to the autumn this year. So Galacon is not in the middle of the summer, but it's in the September. So it will be a little bit packed, as you see. 2 months, 3 conventions. Yay. Okay. Any other plans for visiting these events?
You're missing the Ukrainian one, basically.
Ukraine. I did not put it there. I spoke about it a few times already. It's called Brony. Yeah, and it's gonna be held in Kiev at 13th from 13th of June to 1st of July. It's the weekend at the end of the June. It was told to us that they are going to do that because Kiev is now saved, because there were no attacks on Kiev in months, which unfortunately suddenly changed.
Yeah, last week's only 2 rockets.
I was actually planning to go, but the problem is that at the same time we have Festival Fantasy in Czech Republic, where we also held the My Little Pony program. So, and I already signed up and paid. So, too bad. All right, some general notes from attendees' perspective. Yeah, if you want to go, that's totally perfect. I can only recommend going to conventions. Can broaden your horizon. You can share your common interest with others, other fans. You can learn a lot of new skills with the traveling, how to solve the problems, how to take care of yourself in other countries, for example. And in general, I think it's a good idea. There are many reasons to visit. They changes over time. Changes from the event to event. Like when you go for the first time, you usually try to attend all the program. And when you're at the 10th convention, you usually do not run from panel to panel to visit everything, and you're more focusing on getting in touch with people and meeting old friends and stuff like that. Also, it's great that when you come to a convention and you say, hey, I've seen you there. Did you also remember that and that? Perfect way. Sometimes leads to a little bit unpredictable situations, like what happened to me at Heartswarming Con years ago was that a guy came to me and said, hey, I've seen you at the Galacon. I actually saw you at the last Heartswarming Con. I think I saw you pretty everywhere I've been to. But man, you haven't been to one convention. You haven't been to Czech Festival. I haven't seen you there. You definitely should go there. It's totally awesome. Yeah, I will try. Yeah. Of course, when you have people around you who knows, they're laughing or they're making jokes like, yeah, you're omitting it all the time. Did you ever contribute to Czech Festival?
James, you talked about how you want to see every panel. Fun fact, you're the first panel I visit.
Oh, thank you, I'm honored.
I'm here for the friends and the music.
Yeah, sure. A lot of people have many motivations to go to the conventions, although it's a little bit demotivational when somebody tells you, yeah, I don't care which guests you bring, I'm there for the people. I go there for drinking with others. Okay, so let's rent a big pub. We don't have to rent the culture place. We don't have to rent the convention center. Nah, that would not be the thing. Okay. It's like drinking and on the background the program can run, I suppose. If you have a chance, try to travel with a group. Of course, it's possible to travel around alone, but if you have a group, it's much more fun. Also, you can support each other when it's necessary. And as being said many times, the shared joy is double the joy. We used to travel in like 10, 15 people with the Czech groups in the past, because not many of us had the experience with the traveling. So we gained the experience, and now we are traveling in several small groups. Yeah, also possible this way. Sometimes people get crazy and want to save their money with the traveling. Some guys from Bratislava decided to go to Brony Fair in Nantes, and they used Škoda Fabia. There were 5 of them, and on top of that, they did not want to pay the fee for the highways in France, so they went the sideways. I think it was 19 hours journey. crazy. What can you do? It happens. Also, to note about the traveling, I think those of us who's been traveling and encounter issues like delayed trains, cancelled flight, nobody ever died from that. So if you're afraid that you miss intercontinental flight, it can happen. It happened to me.
Don't joke about it, or it happens.
Yeah. It happened to me. I was having a shower in the hotel. I said, this is perfect. Now I have a shower, sleep over, and tomorrow I'm at work. Wait, there's something odd in this plan. I would need a time machine. Shit, what's the time? Yeah, my plane just went, fly off. Buy a new ticket, call your work, and lights go on. Every convention is unique. This is much more obvious after the years when you're visiting these events. It's not just the program, it's not just the guests, it's also the people who are creating the atmosphere, the level of enthusiasm and stuff they put into that. Totally. If you enjoy it now because it might not be here in a few years. Yeah, if you like the event, please say it. Even the email to organizers, replying to tweets, filling up the feedback form, every single thank you counts. Because as I'm gonna say that again, as Zekora said yesterday, it's that thing that keeps the organizing team running. If they don't get this kind of feedback, they will just not do it because they do not know. So just go to the organizers after the event or write them an email. It's not as common as you think. It does not happen so often. And for me, for example, there are 2 or 3 unknown bronies who sometimes send me a message over Telegram or over Twitter and say, hey, I totally like your convention, I hope you're gonna do it the next time, and everything like this. And like these 3 people can make all the change if the event happens next time or not. Yeah. That's the power of these words. Just simple thank you. Yes?
Thank you.
Oh. Thank you. It warms my heart. Yeah, it matters a lot. If you like, do an active contribution. You can do it in so many ways. Like this is the now old Galacon venue. Active contribution can be very easy. You just bring chalks and draw outside on the ground. That's a perfect example how to contribute to the convention unofficially, and people totally like it and totally enjoy it. Also, these group photos are usually spontaneously organized by attendees. Yep.
C'è questa arrow.
Arrow?
Shipka. Cool.
Yeah, arrow. Yeah, we made a group picture, and it was taken from the drone. And when the drone came up, we found out that the people are actually like in the shape of arrow into the venue. It's really nice. Just a spontaneous thing. Yeah, what you can do can have a big yet unknown impact. As I spoke about that interview for BBC, it can come out after 5 years. Or after years you found out that something small that you said or you did had an impact on other people who just continue with what they are doing. Let's say my decision to make a cosplay was also in the beginning, yeah, I'm going to be Gala Fluttershy. And everyone in the fandom was like, you, Fluttershy? Never. That cannot happen. You can be anything but not Fluttershy. Yeah, I will be. No. That's impossible. Well, 10 years later. Yeah, unexpected events are those you remember. Perfect example are charity auctions at Galacon. If you've ever been to charity auctions at Galacon or at Equestria, you know what can happen. Yeah, somebody says stupid thing like, yeah, I'm gonna sell a hug in the auction, and I was like, yeah, I wanna see that idiot who's gonna buy a hug. Yeah, after then you open your wallet and just put hundreds of euros because it's fun. And it's for the charity. Don't laugh. The really nice little things that kind of spice of the memories that happens at every event. Those are those nice sentences that somebody tells you, and it can stuck in you and carry with you for years. Like when we met John Delancey in Prague, we let them sign the flag and everything. There was the whole story around that, how I did not want to come there in the cosplay, and the organizers told me that I betrayed them, and I went back home and dress up at the toilet, which is usual. And then I walked down to the convention area, and Czech Brony started to sing. Ah yeah, idiots. I walked the last stair, and John Delancey was in front of me laughing. Yeah, perfect introduction to a VIP guest, right? Yeah, but the thing is that when I let him sign the flag, I usually say this thanks to the voice actors and script writers and everybody who does something with the show. That they thank you for doing that awesome show that I totally love. And John Delancey told me back then, yeah, and I thank you for what? You gave the Bronies the freedom of expression, your cosplay. So, oh. Yeah. That was really hard for me. That's the thing that pushed me forward for a few years. Yeah, example of child drawing. Remember this? Equestria Girls. It would be great if somebody made a flash mob of this. So we did. Twice. Actually 3 times, I think. Just made the ears and tails and singing the Helping Twilight in the Crown. And at Galacon 2013, at the end, after the event ended, we just started to sing, and we went back into the venue, and it took like 2 or 3 minutes to the organizers until they realized something is wrong, that we invaded the venue again, and they kicked us out. Please don't do that. It's not nice. Yeah, Galacon group photo, fun organized, come and sing along. This was Anneli Heath and Daniel Ingram at Crystal Fair, playing the Princess's song, You'll Play Your Part, which was not on the schedule, and that was amazing. Different kind of event. When you're in Moscow, you visit Bunker 42, which was former headquarters of the army. And when they ask for volunteers, you volunteer, and then you found out that it's gonna be about nuclear missile launch simulation, and then you found out that the next volunteer is Ellie Ray. So, launching the nuclear missiles against the enemies of Soviet Union with your favorite voice actors is definitely something you do not forget. Yeah, this is the sleepover community style, how it looks like. This is from my little convent, but at most of the conventions of the community style, you can find it like this. Yeah, sleeping in one room with everything. Yeah, this is funny story. How we missed Andrea Liebman in Prague. Galacon 2013, she said she's going to Prague, and we were like, yeah, you should definitely come to our meetup. It's in here. And then it was like, nah, she's not coming. So I give it like 10%. And then that picture on the left appeared on her Twitter. I couldn't find you guys, so I moved on. I was already on the way to the place, and I haven't seen this picture, but when I arrived, there were two guys of those 4 on the right. And I arrived, hey guys, do not ask. What? Do not ask. Was she here? I said, do not ask. she here? Yeah, she was here. And she went away. And we did not recognize her. You idiot. So this we posted as an apology, and when other voice actors in the following years said that, yeah, hi, we are going to visit the Prague, and we replied on Facebook, like, yeah, I come to our meetup, and under our Limman replied, lol. Okay, then 6 years later, Ellie Ray come and tweeted this. Okay. And then at the last Galacon, at the VIP Q&A panel, somebody asked all the guests what's their most intense experience from the conventions. I think Tabitas in German talked about being at a convention that was hit by a tornado and hiding behind the table with Anneli Heath and her kid, and that was very intense. And Andrea Lindman just said, yeah, I'm gonna talk about my last visit in here. You know, I like to travel. I've been here at the last Galacon, and then I've been to Prague. Yeah, and already audience laughed because everyone knew the story, how we made ourselves idiots internationally. Yeah.
But did he still make fun of her?
We actually said that when she decided to visit the Prague next time, the drink is on us, and she said, lol, yes. So let's hope so. I think we are over the time, so I'm gonna skip this part. You saw it yesterday. I just want to note, if you want to organize a convention in order to be horse famous, please don't. There are much less painful ways how to do it. So, please no. Yeah, and another important note, organizing an event is always group effort. You may see few people on the stage, but there are dozens of people behind, and all of them definitely deserves thank you for what they're doing. Because without volunteers, convention cannot run. Yeah, by the way, this is one of the things that we are facing here now, the ticket sales before and after the pandemic. The difference is that 1/3 of tickets are bought late, like 2 or 3 weeks before the event. And those 3 weeks before the event, when you have on the list, when you sold half of the ticket you expected, it's like, shit, we have to cancel this. And it's definitely not helping. So if you're going to any convention, please buy tickets early. Really do, it totally helps. Yeah, let's go just through this. VIP guest, community guests, bureaucracy. Yeah, you hit a lot of unexpected situations, sudden problems, collapsing people, miscalculations, and things like that. Yeah, power of thanks. It's important to keep the healthy levels of insanity when you're an organizer. Yeah, sometimes you forget the microphones on, and like at the Czech Festival 2019, after the cosplay contest, the guy who was has a Roman armor, and he was moderating the cosplay contest, and ended and everything, and he just forgot that he has microphones on, and from the speakers to the main hall there was a set of, shit, this is so fucking hot in this costume. And of course it was in Czech, so half of the hall just started to laugh. Please turn this microphone off. Yeah. Yeah, how not to introduce voice actors. When you're tired, you're making mistakes. This is me, 2015, introducing Czech voice actors. And what's the difference between please welcome historically first Czech voice actor guest And please welcome first historical Czech voice actor guest. So first you said, like, yeah, historically first coming to them, and in the you just swap the words and say, yeah, this is the the old ruin you just dig up, and she's the first Czech historical voice actor. Dude, please, please take caution when you do such a thing. It's not nice, even when people are laughing. Yeah. This is another type of VIP guest. Ellie Ray found out that we have the sea ponies costumes, and she intended to use them in the fountain outside of the venue, together with other guys. I think there is most of those guys in the fountain with her are organizers of the Ponicon Holland and Railway Dash on the right as Fluttershy. Yep. This is photo from the organizers meetup at the last BronyCon. Most organizers from all of the world, Europe, Asia, UK. There is one person that is not an organizer in there. Can you spot him? You know, yeah, person doing this gesture. It's Mitch Larson. Also, after 4 years, it's interesting that many of those people are not organizing conventions anymore, which says something about being an organizer. It costs a lot of energy. Yeah, community guest notes. Let's go through this. In Europe, we actually do not stick too much with the community guest principle. It's more American thing. Most of the community guests in Europe are musicians. I think the only community guest we have in Europe, and she's appearing at many places, is Perry, because she's moderating the auction. But otherwise, it's usually panelists, presenters, guys like that. Yeah, surprise situations. Those are always fun when somebody invites you as a guest and they did not tell you what they expect. So like 10 minutes after your panel should have been started, you're poking the organizers. Tell me, what should I do? What do you want me to say? True story. Happened. Yeah, I think when I finally got the answer, it was like, yeah, tell them something about Chipester, and they left. Out of this is the situation I was talking about. Making an interview ended after a minute. I'm almost at the end. You see, I made it 10 minutes longer, now almost 11. And one of my motivations, I did this because there were too many things that happened over 10 years, and it does not fit in this panel. I would need 2 hours, and that would be too long. So I decided to make the bronies.eu website, where I try to gather all the videos, photos, and the archives of the conventions that are happening. Now I'm filling up the archive. Part of this is also a calendar of the current events, so you can find some conventions there. It's not the only project that do this. I mean the calendar, there are more of them, and they will be all linked from here. So that's my contribution to resolve the problem how to find the conventions you want to go into Europe, because otherwise it's hard to find a way. There are about 2 terabytes of materials to be published. All those videos and photos and stories and everything. Many of them vanished from the internet. I'm trying to re-upload them so you can all find them here. The website is already functional, so you can check it out. Tell me if you like it and if there is something that has to be added. All right. Before next panel starts, any questions? Yes.
Actually, I'm curious here. You mentioned you need the approval of everyone at Japan PonyCon to take the photos.
Mm-hmm.
And I take it the two photos on the presentation were made by you. Did you ask all the people in there, or did they just notice there's a guy with a camera and just gonna look the other way, or?
I carefully took the pictures without having any faces on them. If you make the pictures from behind, it's fine because you cannot recognize the people.
Yeah.
But if it would be from the front and it's not an event like the cosplay contest or somebody is having a panel, then it's obvious that you can. But for random attendees, you should always ask. It's considered highly impolite to make a photo of somebody. I mean, this rule is in the most rules of European conventions too, but nobody takes care. It's mostly there because when somebody actively refuses it, you can enforce it. But in Japan, it's like the default thing. Yep. So, any more questions? Notes? Anything? Yes?
Do you have to have a really active community in a certain country in order to have a convention there?
If there is an active community in any country that runs a convention,
No, just is it a requirement in order to have a successful convention for there to be a really active community in that country?
it's definitely helpful, but you don't have to. It's mostly about knowing if people from the country wants to go to such an event. And if you go internationally, you usually have like 1/3 to 1/2 people from abroad coming. If the community in the country is dead, then it's hard, of course. An example could be France, because there are not many people in France now that are active. But for example, if you think about Poland, there are many active communities who are in the small groups, and if somebody there would appear who would like to make a big event somewhere in the middle of the Poland, it would totally succeed. But you need people for that, so organizing team, volunteers, stuff like that. It's not as hard as it might seem, but if you want to do such a thing, I would advise to start small, with meetups, try how to do these things, perhaps joining, be a volunteer at other events, so you get some know-how. So yeah, technically it's possible, it's just harder. If it's not completely dead, I mean. Yes?
Regarding that, do you know about the percentage of the Chicago attendees who are German?
Yes. I do have exact numbers, but I'm not sure if I can dig them up now. I showed these numbers at Czechwestria at that surprise panel, so you can watch it online. It's recorded, or we can have a look after the panel.
Yeah.
I can show you the numbers.
Do you know the rough number about?
The rough number, it's like 1/3 of the foreign attendees. So the Germans are the second biggest group after Czechs at Czechwestria. All right. More? Yes.
You mentioned something from the Japanese cosplay contest.
Mm-hmm.
You say you was the only male persons in cosplay there?
No, I said we were the only gender benders. So we've been cosplaying the female characters.
Okay.
Because otherwise it was either fursuits, so you do not know who's inside, or it was male characters, males cosplaying male characters, or females cosplaying female characters.
Is it so uncommon in Japan?
I don't know. It was just an observation when we've been standing in the queue of 30 people and we are the only Jews with this.
Okay. You could say you cosplayed Flutter Guy.
I don't want to talk about it. Also, fun thing about the Japan PonyCon was that I because they had a competition for Hearts and Hooves Day. And no, it was for PubsCon, and I posted the picture of me and my girlfriend with the cosplays, you know, cuddling and stuff. And the second person who won the prize for the ticket of PubsCon, I found out that we actually met at the Japan Polycon and we have a group picture. So it was like, yeah, meet here, win the ticket, go there, all around the globe. Yeah, things like this happens when you start to do the stupid stuff. I say stupid, but it's mostly like, you know, fun and crazy, just expressing what I want to express. All right. Another question? Nope. Okay. So thank you for attending. It was fun to see you at all. And if you have further questions, just find me somewhere. It's hard for me to hide anywhere, so don't worry to approach me and ask anything regarding this. And I'm looking forward to meet you later here or at any other event in the future. Thank you.